Much better.
House the Hall of Fame wall in their club so graciously, and a very nice setup thanks to Lynette Freilich. The South Carolina, Sweet Caroline Open and South Carolina Board, thank you for again for bringing us, the LPRT, back here for the 6th year. This has been a great event for us, for the LPRT, and we're just honored to be here. The Ladies Professional Racquetball Tour Board of Directors who are probably watching at home, thank you for all of your assistance and help throughout this time. And our Hall of Fame committee, who I have some of our Hall of Fame members, Hall of Fame committee members here that are going to help me out with this presentation. Women's professional racquetball has been around since the 1970s, but we are really honored to now officially, as of last year, have a wall and a Hall of Fame to honor those who came before some of our current players. So without further ado, I'd like to actually bring up former pro player Laura Fenton. Come on up, Laura.
Thank you. I would also like to state, you look at this wall and sometimes we really don't realize how many years, when you said 1970s, okay? For women to be recognized with being a professional athlete and for Piedmont Pain Management Comprehensive Group to actually create this wall and help contribute to make this happen is absolutely huge. Okay? They also help in supporting out all of the charities that the Sweet Carolina Open support every single year. And I am honored, thoroughly honored, because they helped make a difference when I had really severe knee issues. Bill Watkins, who's standing right over there, 4 years ago, I could barely walk, and I was in the Greenville area for another purpose, and I called Lynette, who's a friend of mine from Lincoln, Nebraska, where I grew up and where she lived. She and her husband lived, Rick. And she said, come over and play racquetball at the club. And I started laughing. I'm like, Lynette, I can hardly walk. I came over and was watching, and Bill was playing. I didn't know Bill, and there was another group of guys, and they kind of overheard me, and they said, oh, my goodness, Bill got these shots, and a week ago, and here he's out playing again, running, blah, blah. I go, yeah, right. You know, kind of went over my head, and they said, no, we're dead serious. I said, so what is that? And that's called regenerative therapy. And it was a process. They made 2 injections, 1 in each of my knees. And by that night, I was walking downstairs. I hadn't done in probably 15 years, straight downstairs. Within 3 weeks, I was playing softball again and tennis. I played my first racquetball tournament here in about, I don't know, many years now again. But I can't thank them enough. And I'd like to bring up Robin Mathis and Dr. Greer. The day that I was there, if any of you know what vasovagal reflex is, it's where your blood pressure and your heart rate all drop because there's a sudden trigger in your body, and that occurred. And Robin stayed with me, and Lynette was there with me for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I fainted and kind of collapsed and did that. Anyway, we want to thank you for this wall, for your support, and that's not just words. You have done so much in raising money, I know as well, Robin. You know, the kindness of your hearts, we appreciate it. So I want to give Robin these flowers. Sorry, the bottom's wet. Flowers. And each of you one of the Sweet Caroline shirts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Glad to be able to support.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I just don't want to take too much time, but I just want to say that we're very proud to be able to host such a great event. It's a nice combination, a wonderful combination of an international sporting event and a local charity. So I really can't think of anything more worthwhile for us to participate in.
And only Laura fainted, nobody else.
right, thank you so much. This year's inductee into the Women's Professional Hall of Fame is Shannon Wright, a well-deserved recipient. To tell you a little bit about Shannon Wright, another former pro player, Malia Bailey.
Thanks very much for having me. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to be able to read a little bit about Shannon Wright. And I do need to mention that it's such a joy that these women on the wall and Shannon preceded us and made racquetball great. Actually, I'm just very honored that these women came before us and that we could be here now to honor them. Shannon Wright dominated women's racquetball throughout the late 1970s and early 80s. During her 12-year career, she racked up over 35 professional tournament victories and captured 7 national championships and finished number 1 on the Ladies Professional Racquetball Association Tour 4 times. As one of the early pioneers of cross-training, she is said to have revolutionized women's racquetball with her hard-hitting style and aggressive play. During her career, she was heavily involved in conducting clinics and making appearances throughout the United States for Wilson Sporting Goods, the manufacturer of the Shannon Wright autographed racquetball racket in 1980. She also co-authored the Women's Book of Racquetball with Steve Keeley, and we were just going through that. It's very interesting. So if y'all have an opportunity to go through that, please do. In 1981, she was a competitor on the ABC Superstar competition in Key Biscayne, Florida, placing 3rd. And in 1976, she was named the International Racquetball Association Women's Professional of the Year, and the following year was named the IRA Athlete of the Year. In 1979, she was selected by Racquetball Illustrated as Player of the Year. In 1982, after narrowly being defeated by Lynn Adams in the National Professional Championships, she left the professional circuit to further her education. In 1989, she completed a degree in biochemistry from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. She then went on to earn an MD and PhD in neuroscience from the University of Minnesota. She is currently a retired physician living in Fridley, Minnesota with her sweetheart, Dr. Bud Muehlhausen, known as the father of racquetball. And interestingly enough, if y'all do have an opportunity, we have a copy of Women Racquetball Pioneers up here, and you can thumb through it and read about the great players many, many years ago. What I found interesting just skimming through this, Shannon Wright was also a gymnast, and evidently she'd do little gymnastic tricks on the racquetball court during her matches, well, not during the matches, but prior, between points, evidently. I thought that was very, very interesting, and I'm sure it made it a lot of fun for spectators. Anyways, let's give it up for Shannon Wright.
Thank you, Malia. As I said, unfortunately, Shannon could not be here today, and she was going to do a video thank you and everything for us, but she came down with shingles recently, so we're wishing her, as she's watching at home, a very speedy recovery. On her behalf, Lynette Freilich is going to come and read a thank you note from Shannon.
Well, we think Shannon is watching, so probably just with one eye, but she is very proud of you girls who've continued the torch and all the racquetball women that have made this such a wonderful sport for us ladies. She sent her acceptance letter last night. I would love to read it to you. Greetings to the Ladies Professional Racquetball Tour, the Sweet Caroline Open, Piedmont Comprehensive Pain Management Group, Jacob, Lynette, and Malia. I want to thank you so much for the great honor of being inducted into the LPRT Hall of Fame that is so graciously being sponsored by Piedmont Comprehensive Pain Management Group. I was really impressed by what my friend Laura Fenton had to say about how their group helped her recover from severe knee issues. Thank you for offering for Dr. Budd and me to attend the Sweet Caroline Open in person. However, at the age of 90, it is challenging for Dr. Budd to travel. As many of you know, a week ago I came down with a pretty case of shingles around my left eye. So right now I'm not feeling quite up to par. My intention is to record my Hall of Fame acceptance speech just as soon as I recover. I can tell from my conversations with Jacob and Lynette that everyone in Greenville is super excited to have the pros in town. I think it is wonderful that these days there are players from so many countries participating in racquetball. The level of competition is impressive. But what I really admire is a high level of professionalism and good sportsmanship demonstrated by all of the top players. I wish everyone a wonderful tournament and promise that I will see you. I want to thank Malia for accepting this wonderful honor on my behalf. I wish you and the rest of the Hall of Fame committee for the Ladies Professional Racquetball Tour all the best of years to come. Much love to you all. Shannon Wright.
And I'm going to make a correction because actually in one of our Hall of Fame committee members' generosity for sponsoring the plaque. So I'd like to hand this over to you, Sherry.
It is with great honor and gratitude that I'm presenting this plaque to Shannon Wright, not only for her contributions on the court, but off the court. And for those of you who do not know what her contributions off the court, we are playing racquetball post-COVID for some of those contributions that she has made. So you need to research her to know all of those contributions. So with further ado, I'd like to read the plaque. Shannon Wright, in recognition of your induction into the Professional Ladies Racquetball Hall of Fame for outstanding achievement and excellence as a player in the sport of racquetball. So I'd like to present this plaque to Malaya on behalf of Shannon Wright.
Thank you, ladies. The plaque will be mailed to Shannon, and then one of the gold plaques with her name and year 2022 will be placed on the wall. So again, I just want to thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for all of your work. There's a lot of criteria involved in inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame, and these ladies work tirelessly to do that, to set criteria, to do the induction, to contact Shannon and the ladies that were inducted last year. And I'd like to just mention them. Lynn Adams, Heather McKay, and Michelle Gold were inducted last year. So we thank all of them for their setting the way for racquetball, women's professional racquetball, and where we are today. So thank you all for your moment in time here, and good luck to our finalists coming up here on court 2.
Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Loudermilk. I'm Medical Director here at Piedmont Comprehensive Pain Management Group. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to provide our patients with the option of regenerative therapy. This type of treatment is used for pain in the knees, hips, and shoulders, and other joints. We can now inject these areas with tissue derived from umbilical cord and amniotic membrane to help promote tissue growth, reduction of inflammation, and regeneration. The results have been amazing.
I'm Laura Fenton, an elite-level athlete whose career was halted due to pain and osteoarthritis in both of my knees. I was scheduled for bilateral knee replacement when a friend introduced me to regenerative therapy at the Piedmont Comprehensive Pain Management Group. Following my injections, I am happy to say that I am competing at a very high level again.
Hello, I'm Michael Greer. I'm a physician and a partner here at Piedmont Comprehensive Pain Management Group. We have offices in Greenville, South Carolina, and also in Anderson, South Carolina, where the practice was founded 23 years ago. We have a variety of techniques to treat all kinds of painful conditions. Among those is osteoarthritis pain in joints. And we have had tremendous success treating osteoarthritis pain in the knee with regenerative therapy injections.